Here's your Farm and Ranch Report from the Montana Ag Network.
And good afternoon, everybody. It's time for your Farm and Ranch News. Well, the 2015 Waters of the U.S. or WOTUS rule may have suffered a final defeat as a Texas court this week granted a motion for summary judgment to the American Farm Bureau Federation that sends WOTUS back to the EPA. The U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Texas ruled EPA violated the law in making changes in the final rule that were not proposed in the preliminary rule. In particular, the final rule defined adjacent waters using distant-based criteria rather than the ecologic and hydrologic criteria used in the proposed rule. At present time, the rule is on hold in 28 states and in effect in 22 others. In the meantime, EPA continues to work on finalizing a new rule. In some other news, this morning at the invite of the U.S. Cattlemen's Association's Jess Peterson, I had breakfast with FCC Commissioner Brendan Carr at the public auction yards in Billings. And he's been traveling across Montana this week, talking with farmers and ranchers, county commissioners, and others about the importance of high-speed internet out here in rural America.
Yeah, well, closing the digital divide, making sure that more Americans have access to high-speed internet service is the top priority for us at the FCC back in Washington. And by getting outside of D.C. and spending time out here in Big Sky Country, we get an even better sense of where we're making progress, the successes of more connectivity, and importantly, the challenges that still remain. The job's not done yet.
And he says as more farmers and ranchers adopt smart ag technology on their ag operations, it's critical that they continue to have access to high-speed internet to help maintain their livelihoods and, of course, their way of life. Stay with us. We'll have more ag news right after this. Well, the initial forecast for 2020 commercial beef production is expected to set a record at 27.5 billion pounds, surpassing what's expected to be a record level this year by almost 1%. That's according to the USDA's latest livestock, dairy, and poultry outlook. Now, USDA says while total cattle slaughter is expected to be lower than this year, expected gains in average carcass weights will more than offset a decline in cow slaughter. USDA lowered the 2019 beef production forecast fractionally from last month to 27.3 billion pounds. And next week, I'll be joining farmer leaders like Montana's Chris Kolstead of Ledger and Denise Conover of Broadview in Mexico for the U.S. Wheat Associates Mexican Wheat Buyers Conference. Mexico continues to be a very important destination for U.S. wheat. And of course, a major push by the U.S. wheat industry is to have Congress ratify the new USMCA agreement. Meanwhile, Mexico plans for quick ratification of the agreement, setting the process in motion following action by Canada this week. But, as Victoria mentioned earlier in the broadcast, in a surprise announcement that could compromise the trade agreement, President Trump announced on Thursday that he's slapping a 5% tariff on all Mexican imports to pressure the country to do more to crack down on the surge of Central American migrants trying to cross the border. That's a look at your ag news. Have a great day.